morning, everyone. I'm Virginia Delgado. I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas.
I'm Christina Webb from right here in Colorado Springs, Discover Goodwill.
And Cindy Scriven, Colorado Springs.
Awesome. In our cohort group, we discussed the first day a lot of things, but we all did come to one conclusion, that it's hard for us to retain talent. And I'm sure that all of you guys can relate to that. I'm sure that all Goodwills have a high turnover. I know ours does, and so does Colorado's. So we came up with this analogy right here of the tree, and I think Colorado uses this, get me? No? Okay, it was another one. I'm so sorry. But we're going to go ahead and discuss this. Get me. And this is the trunk of the tree. And what this represents is how are we going to get our employees? We talked about recruitment. What are some of the ways that you guys utilize? We utilize social media, the websites, I don't know if you guys have a workforce here in Colorado. We call it workforce development over there. Or what is it called, Rachel? Texas workforce, I'm so sorry. So we utilize a lot of outlets to recruit employees. Also, we talked about, are they going to be a good fit? Are they a good match for Goodwill? Do they have the passion to work for Goodwill, or is it just a job for them? We found out that some of our managers are just recruiting to fill that spot, like a Band-Aid. And that's not what we want to do, because then you utilize them for a month and then they're gone and you're back into the cycle again. And then the next one we talked about was the training of the managers. Train a manager how to recruit. Teach them to look for red flags when they are interviewing employees. So those were some of the discussions that we discussed. And I'll go ahead.
So the next step in our cycle is grow me. So you get great employees. And then how do you grow those employees? How do you keep those employees? So, and this is all the way across the board, but we talked, especially yesterday, we talked a lot about young professionals in particular. You can imagine who brought that up in our group. So the biggest thing that we talked about is growth and development, so professional development for everybody across the board, but young professionals especially. Invest in us, give us the chance to grow within our positions, to grow within Goodwill, to develop our talents that we have. So I'm especially grateful that my supervisors let me come to this conference and participate here. So we talked about maybe forming a mentor program, first of all, for onboarding, for when new employees come in. Welcome those employees. We're happy to have you here at Goodwill, and we want to tell you about our program. It's not just what you're going to be doing in your particular position, but also to give cross-training as well. So, I'm a mentor. Let me tell you about Goodwill. Let me tell you about what I do so you can learn more about the organization. So we talked about various needs for various generations, and Cindy will talk a little bit more about the Root for Me part of it and making people feel valued, but one thing in particular that we talked about was giving people the opportunity to participate and to be heard, and I know for young professionals this is especially important. Just because we're, kind of mid-level doesn't mean that we don't have great ideas, we don't have innovation. We talked about innovation versus risk. Someone in our group talked about how young people, we have all this innovation, but we don't think about the risks. We really don't. We're trying to charge forward, and we're excited about the new opportunities. We haven't done our labor market research yet, right? So, but coming together, and we'll bring the innovation, and you tell us, that's a great idea, but, we have to look at the risk, and working together on that. We just want to feel included. We want to share our ideas and our innovation and our strengths with you. Somebody made a really good point that we are heard immediately on social media. I mean, you guys could tweet what I'm saying right now. Somebody's going to hear you, and so that's important, I think, for us at work, too. We want to feel heard at work as well, and it's frustrating when we're not heard at work. Waiting is difficult. Everything in this time, day and time is immediate, everything. You can go online right now and look up anything, and so I think waiting for us is really difficult at work. And flexibility over stability, that was a big thing that we talked about for a while as well, and so how especially younger generations. They want that flexibility at work. How can we have that flexibility to do our job and to be efficient at our job, but not be sort of pigeonholed in this, I have to work 8 to 5 every single day and get all my things done, to give a little more flexibility. And just really having the emotional intelligence to know your employees and know each of their specific needs and their specific strengths and what's going to make them happy.
So you get me, you grow me, now you need to give me roots. And so root for me. Root for me as a new employee. And it's all about retention, retention, retention. And we talked a little bit about mentorships. A mentorship for retail could be as simple as you have a buddy or you have a partner for a week. Something that would make them feel welcomed in the stores and in all the different positions. And of course, we do the kudos, the recognitions, the food, always food. They always like food. But beyond that, it is the appreciation, it is the listening, as Christina said, and listening to what they're saying and say yes and instead of yes but. I think that's very important, and providing opportunities for advancement. We talked about the 30, 60, 90 strategy, and I do believe there's one Goodwill out there that's piloting this, but at 30 days, the employee is able to give you feedback, give us feedback as an organization. It's something as simple as SurveyMonkey. How's it going? Do you have any needs? How are we doing? Suggestions. And how can we help you do your job better? So maybe at 30 days, that comes to HR. And 60 days, maybe another one. And then at 90, when there's that evaluation, they feel like they've already been heard, and so that will be important. So give me roots, stability, belonging, purpose, and that must continue. The other thing we talked about were stay interviews, maybe at 3 years, maybe at 5 years. Why did you stay? What was your decision process? Is there anything that happened that made you make that decision to stay with us, or did you have lots of times where you wanted to leave? So looking at stay interviews. But this all leads to retention. We have a little sign in our Goodwill HR area that says, retention tiger. Stay, employees, stay, and so we have that up there and we see that every day. And I think it's important that we're all retention tigers. Maybe it's the position in a larger department, but maybe it is just everybody. How can we help those employees feel welcome and want to stay? So let's all be retention tigers. Thank you.